Hey guys, I am so excited because we have two guests today. Usually it's just me and someone else, but today I have Michaelynn Rose, who is the director of Bernina Marketing, with us today, along with Meg Goodman, who is the host of the So and So podcast for Bernina, also the CEO of Flint Rock Productions. Is that correct? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
And everything best in the universe is what I'm told from Flint Rock as well. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves. I'm so excited about this episode. We actually are going to do 2 episodes with them. So you guys watch for that second episode to drop as well, right here in January. So you guys are going to love this. Meg, let's start with you. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, thank you. You did a great job, Carina, in setting the stage for this. And I am indeed Meg Goodman, and I get the incredible job of hosting Bernina's So and So podcast. We are just about to wrap up our second season, and it has just been a delight. Bernina understood that there were a lot of stories about sewists and quilters out there, and created a platform for people to tell their stories. But I've been doing audio work since I was 13 years old. My high school had a radio station, and no, they weren't cranking radios in those days. Still, that we were a little past tubes and cranks. But I get to do what I love every day. It's wonderful.
Amazing.
So and so podcast.
Yeah, if you're on the YouTube channel, you can see the cute. It's so SEW and SO. So if you're looking for that podcast, make sure that you're typing it in correct, because I think I put SO and SO, or I put SEW and SEW, but it's so SEW and SO. So you're gonna want to check that out. If you're on the YouTube channel, you can see Meg rocking the shirt. So Michaelynn, will you introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you, first of all, for having us join you. And thank you for being on our podcast coming up. So all you listeners, come out there and make sure you see the podcast. Well, hear the podcast. But I'm Michaelynn Rose. I'm the director of marketing here at Bernina. And it's been an interesting journey. I'm relatively new here. I started in March 2nd of 2020. And I had like 2 weeks, and then, pandemic. It was so much fun.
You had 2 weeks, Michaelynn. Like that was like March 12th when that happened. That's so crazy.
It's been crazy. Yeah, I thought by now I'd be drinking from a garden hose, but I'm still drinking from the fire hose. So, every day is a new adventure. But it's a great company, and I get to work with wonderful people like Meg and so many icons in the industry, which is very rewarding. And we have a team here. I couldn't do it without them. So as you can see, all the paraphernalia in the back here, we produce a lot of different things, as well as all of the stuff that Bernina does, print ads and direct mail and social. We're a huge social media company.
What I love is, first of all, if you're on the YouTube channel and you can see the background behind Michaelynn, that machine behind her is my machine. That's the machine.
Really? You have an Activa?
I have something. It looks like my machine. I don't know the name of it. I just went in and told them, give me the machine that's going to do it. So I love it. So I love Bernina. It was my first like good machine where I was like, it's time to invest in myself, and really, really so. And I tell on the So and So podcast about how I got started with sewing because I didn't know what I was doing. I would love to know more about Bernina. Maybe you don't even have to go into the deep history of it unless you really want to, but tell us about Bernina. What do you guys do? We all know sewing machines. Is that it? Tell us about it.
Well, we do a lot of different things. I would say the most unique thing about Bernina is it is currently a 4th generation family-owned business that is going to be in 2023 130 years old, believe it or not. We're kind of a 130-year-old startup in many ways because we're always looking forward and never looking back, from technology to what we're doing in our with our dealers in the stores, to just the techniques and keeping up with what's going on, and hitting all the different genres of sewing, right? So there's a fifth generation that's involved in the business. Someday we'll be taking over. And the sixth generation was just born 2 months ago. So it truly is a family here, which is very unique for somebody in this business. You take a look at a lot of our competitors, and they have, things have changed over the years. So it works for us. And because of that, we're a Swiss-owned company. So if you know anything about Swiss watches or things like that, you know that Swiss precision and perfection is something that they really strive for. And it's some of the best machines in the world. But Bernina is part of a bigger company, and we also own the Laura Star brand. We have a fabric company called Benartex. We have a notions company called Brewer. We have other things that we dabble in. So while I just work for Bernina, and Bernina is the major company, the family understands, the company understands that together we're stronger than we are, having to deal with everybody individually. So it's been a wonderful opportunity to really get to understand this industry a little bit better. But I have a counterpart, Christy Burcham, who is the director of education. I work very, very closely with her. So we create so much content, like how-tos and videos and mastery workbooks and everything on your machine. And then we have our sales department. So we have this triumvirate of people that really make all of this possible.
Yeah. So where can we find all of this education? Is it mostly happening on platforms like Instagram and YouTube? Do you guys have your own place for it on your own website? Tell us more about that.
So it's really kind of prevalent everywhere. So we have an amazing social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram. We're on YouTube with a lot of our things. Pinterest has been crazy. That's just growing leaps and bounds. We get about 120 million views a year on Pinterest of people looking for ideas and how to make, be more creative and constantly looking for that. So through that and our social media, you see a lot of the stuff there. You also, on our website, every machine has a link to the workbooks, and there's videos and how-tos out there. There's a whole learn and create section. But then our dealers offer lots of classes, and they also share our resources. So what we're striving to do is, no matter if you're working at 3 a.m, because that's when your quiet time is, sewing, and something happens, you can find a solution online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And hopefully we hit what you're looking for. And then 2 years ago, we started the podcast, and it was merely to inspire people and talk about what inspires them. And how did you get into this crazy world of sewing, or how does it relate? And I think our first guest was Bisa Butler. I mean, we're not just about Bernina on the podcast. We are about sewists everywhere and creativity.
Meg, will you speak to that a little bit? So you got involved with the podcast, which is not a traditional format for sewing, right? And it makes a lot more sense to be on YouTube and the educational piece. But will you talk a little bit about how you've been able to bring content that's really relevant to sewers through the podcast?
Sure. There's nothing technical about the podcast. It's all about sewist quilters, their stories. Michaelynn mentioned Bisa Butler, who we interviewed during COVID, who had an exhibit at the Art Institute of Chicago that had been shut down because of the pandemic. And we were lucky enough to get her as our first guest, just to talk about what inspired her, what excited her in her community, which we talk about in the intro of the show. But people who sew or quilt or are in the periphery of that all have stories. about how they got into it or what they're doing with it. The podcasts, the seed of the whole thing actually happened one night when I was at a friend's home for dinner. And she was telling me the story of her sister who had been diagnosed with cancer, but she was a quilter. And when she told her community of quilters what she was going through, they all started sending her fabric and pieces so she could make her quilts. And I remember thinking, I bet there's more stories like that out there. So Michaelynn and I talked about it, and she said, oh yeah, there've got to be stories like that. So let's create community. And what a great time to do that than during the pandemic when everybody was searching for connection. So, we had people on the podcast. Michaelynn was talking about the family that owns Bernina, the Ulchis. We did a part of one of our podcasts at Bernina University. We interviewed all of them, and they told their stories of growing up in Bernina and where they are. We interviewed Kay Fassett and Brandon Mabley together, and about just Kay's work in the 60s to bring color to a very black and white world as far as fashion went. Amanda Murphy was on that. We had the G's Ben Quilters on there, and I didn't know who they were until I learned about them and interviewed them, but they are a group in Alabama, all descendants of slaves. And within their community, they quilt together, and they are bringing their patterns to the forefront. And actually, one of their quilts was used as the inspiration for the dress that Michelle Obama wore in one of her portraits. So, as you mentioned, if you go to soandsopodcast.com, not only can you hear our stories, but we have pictures of people and the pictures of their families and the things that they've designed. We have reality TV stars, we have astronauts, we have just people who run the gamut, and everybody has a story. And, it's been so amazing to hear what people have gone through.
I love that you guys are doing this, ironically, in a marketing piece of Bernina, but it's really just about community and bringing sewers together, right? Michaelynn, I would love for you to talk a little bit about, what was your decision process around doing this? Because in a lot of ways, it's very, it's not a straightforward way. Like, if I'm going to watch a YouTube video to learn how to use my Bernina machine with the sewing, pattern that I'm doing, that's very straightforward. What was the decision behind creating a community and learning more about the stories behind sewers?
Have you been dreaming of earning a master's degree or a design certificate that could lead you to launch your very own business? The University of Arts and Design has unique programs where you not only learn how to design, but how not to be a starving artist, which is why I created it. Join us in our upcoming Design Your Future event. Visit uad.education/designyourfuture to learn more about our students, discover the courses that we offer, and find out more about how you can become part of something truly unique in the university experience.
Well, I think the pandemic actually drove a lot of it because we were getting people who were re-emerging sewists that were coming back into it. And you would hear stories from them about, oh yeah, I have this old machine sitting in the closet and I pulled it out to make masks and I couldn't believe I still had all this fabric there because, getting rid of fabric, what sewist throws it out, right? It's inspirational stuff. And we started talking about it, and it kind of grew out of the joy of sewing, right? Everybody has a story. Everybody finds some sort of joy in it, whether they do it for their mental health, whether it's their way of unleashing their creativity, whether it's a way to wind down. Everybody has a personal connection who sews or who's re-emerging into sewing. And we didn't want this to be just about Bernina. We really wanted it to be about sewists so that we could talk to many people in the industry and cast a very broad net, because these stories deserve to be heard. Everybody has one, and that's why we kind of started it. And I gave Meg a call and I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And she's like, ooh, this could be interesting. So then we evolved from that. We did that. And then we started going to some of the events, which were really interesting because people do want to hear about things that go on at events that they can't go to. Those have been some very powerful podcasts there. And it just kind of grew from there. So we did it as a pilot and we committed to so many episodes. And now I think there would be an uproar if we stopped it, because so many people from all over the world. I mean, we literally get people listening from all over the world to the podcasts. We have New Zealand, and there's people in Australia and Asia, and it kind of blew my mind, honestly, that we really hit a chord with people.
Yeah,
we also want people to know that it's anybody can sew. So we have people from all races and ethnicities, and we have men on there. A lot of guys are amazing sewists.
Tristan Detweiler.
Tristan Detweiler, who is a designer out of California. He's a surfer, and he creates clothes and shows at New York Fashion Week. And he is just a delight to talk to. So we want people to know that no matter who you are represented in the sewist and quilting community.
Yeah. Whether you have a Bernina or a Burnett or not, right? There's no right or wrong. It's all about creating. Our tagline is made to create. And that was kind of the spirit behind the podcast.
Is Made to Create Bernina's tagline, or is it all of the entities' tagline?
It's just Bernina. Okay. And then our sister brand, Burnett, which is a much more affordable brand, but still with the Swiss engineering behind it, there is a "for all my ideas" is their tagline.
Okay.
And there's some amazing machines for like under $500 in that line, because the Swiss are just too myopic about making sure it's the very best, right? And so a lot of people don't know about Burnett, so it's the Burnett, we call it kind of the gateway drug to Bernina, right? Once you learn about the precision of the Swiss sewing, and as a matter of fact, our B70 line, the 70, 77, and 79 have the same computer interface as our Berninas. So you can easily go from that, the top of the line Burnett's, which are still under $3,000, to a Bernina and feel very comfortable making that switch.
Yeah, I think so. I have a Bernina, and one of the reasons I bought one is because I had so many girlfriends who said, "Oh, my mom sews on a Bernina, and she's had hers for 20 years, and it keeps on going." So, will you talk a little bit about that? I mean, you've already said it's very precise. It's from Switzerland. Like but like why? Like what makes a Bernina last so darn long?
Well, I think it's the quality. We're a premium brand. There's no doubt about it. And we do have a premium price tag. But when you take a look at the quality and engineering that go into those machines, the shank on our foot, which makes it different, you're putting the foot is substantial, as right? When you go to put that foot on, that there's going to be stability there. And everything inside the machine is tool and engineered the same way. We make our feet in our factory. We own our factories. There's a factory in Switzerland, and then we have a factory in Thailand. All the people in Thailand are trained in Switzerland. So it's like they are insane about quality. So everything that you know about Swiss watches holds true to our machines. They test and test and test, and they drop them from the amazing heights to make sure that the boxes are going to hold up. And it's obsessive compulsiveness behind them. That's part of their culture. And I mean that in the best possible way. So when you buy a Bernina, you know that that machine is a high quality machine. And, you know, the mechanical Berninas from years ago that a lot of people are still sewing on, that they'll never give them up. And we get asked all the time, why don't you make more mechanical machines? Well, it's just not practical anymore because people want so much out of their sewing machines. And, you know, the computerized machines are amazing machines. But like any computer, chips and things get old, and then, you know, you have to have them replaced, or we can't replace them because technology has moved so much forward. It's like, do you still want the old, you know, candy bar phone that you used to have in the 90s? Or, you know, because now, you know, your little iPhone here is so much more advanced and does so many more things, including now I can start my dishwasher. So I truly can do my dishes from my iPhone. Now, we're not there yet with our Berninas, but our new air threading sergers changed the industry. Like Baby Lock had air threading sergers for a while, but our air threading sergers, you don't have to follow step 1, step 2, step 3. You can thread it in any order that you want, and that thing sucks the air right through there, and boom, your loopers are threaded.
That's
like, I had never used a serger in my life, and I couldn't believe it that I could thread that thing that easily, right? And it does so many things that people don't even know. It's not just for serging or overlocking or roll hems. There's Pam Mashey, who is like the queen of sergers, like the creative things she can do with a serger. She can make lace. She can do smocking. She can do plaid embellishments so it looks like you have a very, very high-end piece of fabric to upholster chairs with or to make a bag out of. Blows my mind on a daily basis what this woman can do. So that's what the engineering and all of the thought and all of the effort that goes into the Bernina machines allows people to do with that. Now, yeah, we get accused sometime of, you know, it takes you forever to come out with your new machines, but that's why, because those guys won't let it leave. And maybe on your machine, you remember there was a tag on it, right?
Yeah.
And it was literally signed by the person who did the final inspection. They run every single one of those machines through an inspection and they make sure it works. And then they hang the tag on it. And we take huge pride in that. So that's kind of what makes Bernina unique and different, I think, anyway.
Oh, I think it makes it super unique and different. So amazing. What do you hope your people who sew with your machines, like, what do you hope for them to be doing with your machines? I mean, clearly sewing on it, but like, what's really the end goal?
I think the end goal is to not have your creativity boxed in. We want you to be as creative as you are. So there's a lady, Marissa, who works here, who is a huge award-winning quiltist, and she actually works for our sister company, Brewer. She had trunk shows. She's won numerous awards. She sews leather and plastic and whatever thing she decides to make with her quilts. You can do that with our Bernina. You can sew through 12 layers of denim. You can sew through leather. You can do anything with these machines. And as a matter of fact, these machines are $790 and our L890 serger are in the Disney workrooms because they wanted something that would help expand their creativity. When we showed them the feet that we have, like the leather roller foot, they went, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen, because they make so many gloves. And that leather roller foot helps them do that freehand like nothing else. So that's what makes Bernina thrilled, is that people can unleash whatever creative desire that they have. And if you can't figure it out, post it on our blog or post it on our social media. There will be someone that can help you. We have a trainer who works with all the new dealers, Debbie Cacciamani. Disney didn't think that like she would be able to keep up with them. She taught them stuff. So it was like, they were like, these are the coolest things we've ever seen. So that's what makes us excited about doing this. And that's what we want for our sewists and our makers and our creators, is to have at their fingertips the joy and the creativity that is boundless.
Oh my gosh. I love that. I didn't know you guys had a leather roller. I have a regular roller, but a leather roller, that was exciting for me to
It's like
hear.
the leather roller foot. Yeah, it's called that.
Foot.
When we put that out, we do a foot video. Sylvain does it for us. We sold out of those the day that hit, because people just went out of their minds on how you can use it. We have over 105 feet. It's a bit of an obsession with us.
Yeah. I only have probably 7 of the feet, but
they're on sale.
I have my favorite. Oh, I'm probably, now that
there's my marketer.
Now that there's a leather roller, I'm like, oh, I think I might need that one. I will tell you my favorite. I'm going to tell you my favorite foot. My favorite foot is it's a big foot. It's not even, do you guys call it a foot? It's the ruffler.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, we call it a foot, but yeah, isn't that cool?
It's cool. It's insane. When I first saw it, I was like, I didn't even know this existed.
Wait till you try the binding foot. Do you have a binding foot?
I don't have a binding foot.
Okay. If you're a quilter, do you the bindings on your quilt?
I'm still hand binding.
Oh, no. Go to a local Bernina shop and have them demo a binding foot for you, or go on our website and blog, or on the blog or on our social, and look for binding foot. In YouTube, there's a video. It will blow your mind. You can make your own bias tape, for goodness sakes. It's like they thought of everything. And then we're constantly listening, right? To help solve problems. So it's exciting when people get so geeked out about it. You know what I mean?
Fun. That's so fun. Well, we're out of time for today, but guys, we're going to do another episode, because this is so fun to hear everything about Bernina. And I want to really dig into what's newer. Like, what are the things that are are setting industry standards? You guys already heard, like, it's a premium product, so you're getting a lot out of it. Where would you, let's first start with Meg. Meg, do you want to talk about where they can find the podcast?
Sure. We have a website. Of course, you can download them from wherever you get your podcasts. But Bernina has curated a website, soandsopodcast.com. It's SEWANDSO podcast.com. And every one of our episodes are there, along with photos of the guests and some of their creations or families, so you can really get to know them as you listen to the podcast.
Amazing. And then Michaelynn, do you want to talk about, if you are looking for Bernina, or you're interested in Bernina education, where would they go?
There's so many places. You can always start at Bernina.com. There's always videos and deep information on all of our machines and accessories. There's classes out there. Many of them are free to take. There's some that you can come to our creative center to take them as well, or go to a local dealer. We are unique in that we don't sell direct to consumer. The dealers are king with Bernina, and they are our lifeline. So when you hook up with a dealer and you find a community there, they have all the resources that you need for those things as well. We also have weallsew.com, which is our blog. It's been going on for years. And there is so much information out there, mostly inspirational projects, but there's also things like on how to care for the maintenance of your machines. And then we have our social media page. We're Bernina USA at facebook.com as well as on Instagram. And we're under Bernina International on YouTube because we don't. So it gets, just look up Bernina. You'll find us. We're everywhere.
Amazing. So good to have you both on. You guys will put most of those links, if I can remember them all into for sure Bernina.com, but like into the show notes so that you guys can get a hold of Bernina, find out more about Bernina and about the podcast, which I think you guys will really enjoy. All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.